Video is about the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is your immune system, but it consists of several organs also. So let's take a look at some of these organs and what they do and how they work. The main job of the lymphatic system is to recirculate fluids. A lot of times they're swelling because the lymphatic system isn't able to recirculate a fluid. For example, elephantiasis is when parasites clog some of the lymph vessels and prevent that fluid from moving around. Lymph vessels also transport fats. So when you think about digestion, whenever those fats are broken down into triglycerides, it's the lymph vessels that are picking them up in the small intestine and moving them around the body. Then, of course, the lymphatic system fights disease. That's the immune response. There are several organs involved in the lymphatic system. The thymus gland, located right above the heart, which is also part of the endocrine system. The tonsils in the back of the throat. The lymph nodes, which are concentrated in armpits, the groin, and in the neck, which is why your doctor kind of feels your neck to see if you have swollen lymph nodes. And sometimes the spleen is included in that. The role of the spleen is to clear the blood of old, worn-out blood cells. This is a picture of a lymph node. Think of lymph nodes kind of like security, where everyone's kind of traveling through this lymph vessel and then there's a security checkpoint. That's a lymph node. It just surveils your blood. It's filled with macrophages and lymphocytes. And those white blood cells are just looking for anything foreign. Anything that doesn't belong in the blood gets attacked by those blood cells. So your lymph nodes can be an indicator of an infection in your body. Here's what lymph vessels look like. Notice that they have valves just like veins, but there's no heart circulating lymph. In fact, the lymph vessels merge with the circulatory system and the heart circulates all that fluid, but it's really like muscle contractions and movement that helps squeeze those lymph vessels to circulate that fluid around the body. If you're wondering what is lymph, it's not an easy question to answer because the composition of lymph just depends on wherever that fluid was and the tissues that that fluid came from. Notice that lymph vessels are similar to blood vessels. Just like veins, they have valves, but they also have different sizes. So blood vessels have arteries, veins, capillaries, and in a similar way, there's lymph trunks and there's smaller lymph vessels, just like there is with blood. In the mouth, you have tonsils. Tonsils protect the mouth and the throat from, again, infections, but some people might have their tonsils removed because they no longer serve that function. Rather, the bacterial infections have gotten too bad, like strep throat has gotten so bad that the tonsils are no longer able to fight that battle. Your body has several lines of defense. A pathogen is a disease-causing agent, and your body's trying to keep these disease-causing agents at bay. One way it does it is physical and chemical barriers. So like skin is a physical barrier. Mucus is a physical barrier. But stomach acid, saliva, tears, those are chemical barriers. If the pathogen gets past those physical and chemical barriers, then your body has intercellular and chemical defenses like phagocytes and macrophages that are just looking for any foreign invader and attacking them. The lymphocytes in your lymph nodes would do that. But some things your body specifically responds to. That's your immune response, and it is adaptive. That is, the first time you get that pathogen, it might make you really sick. But if you survive, your body builds up a library and defense so that the next time the reaction is much greater. Immunity can be gained actively or passively. So if you get the infection and you survive it, then your body builds up antibodies in order to respond to it. You can also get a vaccine. Vaccines are just a weakened version of the pathogen, and your body can build an immune response because of that vaccine. Passive immunity can be naturally acquired through breastfeeding, so a baby can get some immune defense from their mother. But also by some medications that can be taken or transfusions that might be given to help build up their immune system for someone especially who's immunocompromised. The immune response means that the antigen or the pathogen is recognized as non-self. The body is mounting a defense. Notice in the graph that the primary response is light and it's long. But the secondary response is dramatic and it's fast. So that's why vaccinations can be really helpful. They don't prevent you from getting it, but what they do is they build your immune system so that you destroy it without really feeling any symptoms. The steps of the immune response start with the helper T cells. So these are also stimulated by the thymus gland. They send an alert. The B cells will produce some antibodies. Those antibodies will trigger this immune response. Cells will attack the pathogen and destroy it. And then memory cells will store that information so that the next time it's much faster generating that response. Sometimes the body just attacks itself. Those are autoimmune disorders. So when the immune system attacks self cells instead of foreign cells. Rheumatoid arthritis is an example of this. Type 1 diabetes mellitus is an example where the body is attacking its self cells because it doesn't recognize them. Allergies are an immune response to a harmless substance. Peanuts, pollen, cat dander. There's nothing deadly about it except our immune response is so great that it creates a problem. Now, normally it's the basophils that are releasing these histamines. Those histamines are trying to protect the body from this pathogen. So when there's swelling, it's trying to quarantine the invader in that area. When there's mucus and leaky tissue, it's to try to wash some of that away. The mucus to trap it from getting into your lungs. The airway is constricting. All those things are the body's method of keeping these pathogens out. The problem is when your nose is running, your eyes are watery, mucus is building up and you can't breathe, then the allergic response might be actually worse than the substance. So we take an antihistamine, and that does the opposite of a histamine. So the swelling goes down, dry up, the airway is open, and our body is in a less stressful response state. I hope that helps you understand a little bit about the immune system, how it works, and some of the structures involved.